So 4 months ago I went to the Philippines for the first time in 13 years. As you can tell, this video is super overdue, so let's back up a little bit. Hi, I'm Catherine, I'm 20 years old, and I was born and raised in a small town in the good old state of Virginia. I lived my whole life in this same area. I grew up being in the same classes with the same people from kindergarten to senior year of high school. With such a small town, it's not the most diverse. As a result of this, I have somehow managed to not be very cultured in my own culture. And it definitely doesn't help that the only time I've been to the Philippines is when I was 7 years old, and the only real vivid memory I have is getting food poisoning and not being able to move for 3 days straight. So I think it's about time that I finally get cultured. It's time to go back to the Philippines.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Delta Airlines Flight 2998 bound for Atlanta, Georgia.
I actually love plane rides. I love being at the airport. I love free airport snacks. I love reading books on the plane that I've been meaning to read for the past 3 years of my life. One of our layovers was actually in Seoul, South Korea. This was our first time going. Because our layover was 4 hours, we were provided by the airport company a free tour of the city. But alas, we encountered our first unfortunate mishap of many during this trip. Our plane ride took longer than estimated, and we were unfortunately unable to make it to our tour. So here we were in Korea, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Well, we had two things to do really. But after many hours of eating mushy airplane food, trying to claim the armrest before the stranger next to me does, and holding my pee for God knows how long because I have a fear of airplane bathrooms, we finally made it.
Thank you for flying with Philippine Airlines throughout these years. Kami po sa Philippine Airlines ay taus-pusong bumabati sa inyo at
being back in the Philippines for the first time in 13 years was kind of weird. It felt both familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. I felt at home, yet in a new place at the same time. Wow, Catherine, it's as if you're Filipino-American and you identify with two very different cultures. So where we were visiting in the Philippines is a province called Pangasinan, where both of my parents actually grew up. My mom is from Dagupan City and my dad is from Calasiao. Talk about a long-distance relationship. But that made it quite easy for us because that meant it was only a 15-minute tricycle ride from one side of the family to the other. There was one thing though that we had to do to check off our to-do list before anything. You guessed it. Introducing the pride and joy of the Philippines. And no, I'm not talking about Manny Pacquiao, even though he is definitely one of the pride and joys of the Philippines. No, I am talking about the one and only Chicken Joy.
Magsaya, si best friend Jollibee narito na. Hey kids, come with me.
Let's play with Jollibee. Jolly, jolly, Jollibee, jolly, 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 Jollibee, jolly, jolly.
May malaki.
Eventually, we made it to my grandparents' house. My grandparents actually have a home in America and they've been working here, but their plan was to always move back to the Philippines after retirement to settle down back in Dagupan City. I always wondered why they wanted to move back to the Philippines, but when we got to their house, it started to all make a bit more sense. Life here for them was both simple and adventurous all at the same time. You know what they say, everything is more fun in the Philippines. That me and my cousins and titas and titos were all reuniting for the first time in 13 years. It was like we had to get to know each other all over again because last time we met we were still little kids and now we're still kids. But kids in college, kids with full-time jobs, and kids who still love karaoke. What was even crazier was that on my dad's side, it was my grandmother's first time visiting the Philippines in 17 years. What? That's almost as long as I have been existing on this earth. So of course, my dad's side of the family had to do something a little special for my grandma's return. And by a little something, I mean a full-blown barrio fiesta.
Porque sabes que te quiero, tú te aprovechas porque sabes que te adoro. Me tratas mal, crees que estás en tu derecho, pero te has equivocado. Y un día de tantos me decido y te pongo en tu lugar. Últimamente, ¿qué está pasando? ¿No tienes tiempo o no has querido? No estés pensando que esto es un juego. No ten en cuenta lo que te digo. Con tus detalles me estás cansando. Si lo prefieres, yo me despido. Y lo echo todo al olvido. Así es mi corazón.
So I do agree, everything is definitely more fun in the Philippines. Actually, wait, there may have been one thing that was not necessarily that fun. Let's just say the Minigo family ended up passing back and forth this awful cold that debilitated our enjoyment of the trip just a little bit. But we tried our best not to let it get the best of us because, oh, I forgot to mention, we were going to the Philippines during the most wonderful time of the year. Any Filipino knows that it is a hallmark of all Filipino families to take the Christmas holiday very, very seriously. I'm talking lights everywhere, lots of family get-togethers, lots of eating, and more eating. But most importantly, lots of karaoke.
Pakinggan mo ang aking sigaw sa dilaw na buwan.
But a big reason why we actually decided to come back to the Philippines for the first time in a while was because my grandparents were celebrating their golden anniversary. Once again, meet Ricardo and Violeta, aka Mama G and Papa Rick, my grandparents on my mom's side. They have been married for a total of 50 years. 50 years of love, laugh, and daily quarrels. I'm kidding. Kinda. Papa Rick, you know what I'm talking about. Properly celebrate, they wanted to renew their vows. And that really only means one thing. You guessed it, another big party. With any wedding though, there was one thing we needed to cross off the to-do list before the day of. One big family photo shoot.
Sa'yo lang ako naging ganito.
Hey, where are we right now?
Wait, I don't even know. We're at the beach. I think we're at the beach. Oh, gee.
We're currently at the beach. What
Wait,
time is
sign
it,
that
Matthew?
over. Huh?
What time is it?
It's 5:30.
It's actually 6 a.m.
Oh, 6 a.m.
We're out here. What are we about to do?
Let's get a photo shoot done.
Photo shoot done. You already know. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The family's ready. Morning, Uncle.
Good morning. Please visit Catherine's
Good
YouTube
morning.
channel.
Papa Rick, the man of the hour.
Hello.
Good morning. Hello. Good morning, Dad.
I don't, not too close.
Oh, okay. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, good morning.
Sa'yo lang ako naging ganito. Ngumingiti sa alaala mo. Kahit na mag-isa, pag naiisip kita, nabibitin lang ako. Sa'yo lang napaliw. Sa'yo lang nagkaganito. Sa'yo lang naramdaman. Put your head on my shoulder, hold me in your arms, baby. Squeeze me oh so tight, show me love me too? Put your lips next to mine, dear. Won't you kiss me once?
My grandparents, of course, wanted to end the trip right and go on another honeymoon getaway. But this time, they decided to bring the whole family. Yes, that's right, all 17 of us. So we all decided to board a domestic flight to none other than the island of Boracay. This was my first time going to Boracay, so I was really excited to explore the island more and embrace my inner tourist as much as possible. But something kinda got in our way.
Leyte province in central Philippines is now under a state of calamity as the country grapples with the aftermath of Typhoon Fanfon.
So unfortunately, the island of Boracay experienced a terrible hurricane on Christmas Day, which resulted in terrible amounts of damage to both the tourist and local areas. The whole island had no power, only generators to get everyone by. This unfortunately also included where we were supposed to be staying. Hello, we've made it to Boracay. There is one mishap. Dad, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling fine.
We're feeling fine, but we're going through it because at the same time, Boracay has no power from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single day. We're here for 2 days and that's what's up. It's 1 p.m. now, so you don't have power currently, but this is our room still. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. So we don't have AC, as you can tell by my frizzy hair, but with the windows open, it's actually pretty nice, and we're still gonna make the most of this. Am I right? Dad, you didn't hit record. But nevertheless, as we did with our previous unfortunate mishaps, we still tried to make the most of what we could.
Alam na pupunta nila.
Hi, Pottery.
Hey, hello.
Are you excited for the beach?
Ready.
Ready. Hello, we've been in the water for a long time now. I'm about 5 shades darker again. Back to my summer tan. Mom, how are you feeling?
It's good. It's very refreshing here compared to the winter weather in Virginia.
We also did some paddle boarding. I'll insert some shots of everyone following here. It's our last day in Boracay, our second day in Boracay, but also our last day. I don't want to leave.
I really couldn't think of a better way to end this trip. It was a long 3 weeks full of too many vitamin C shots, constantly running late to the next thing on the itinerary, impromptu photo shoots, badly pronounced Tagalog from my brother and I, and constantly questioning whether this is what the sun's surface actually feels like due to the daily 90+ degree weather outside. But it was all so worth it. Reuniting with my family I haven't seen in 13 years, seeing the beautiful views that the islands have to offer, and learning so much about my own culture, the language, the food, the different lifestyles and traditions. It felt so grounding. Traveling with family definitely has its ups and downs, but it's an experience I wouldn't have traded for the world. And I mean, how can someone say no to the delicacy that is taho for only 10 pesos? What? I mean, come on. My case is now closed. I'm done here.
Outfit of the day. Outfit of the day. So we're out here. Matthew, what you wearing?
Endure the heavy traffic.
What is that?